I shall be rewarded, Ahsoka Tano.
Hey Star Wars fans, today on the channel let's take a look at this Inquisitor mask from Tales of the Jedi that I made for my good friend Chris. Let's take a look. So this is a model from Chameleon FX. It looks awesome, it's really good, I love it. And then it was expertly printed in resin by 3D Fanatics. And I went through all the steps of, sanding, filler primer, regular primer, and then a 2K clear coat because I wanted to get this mirror finish for it so I could do Alumoluster on it. I wanted to do like an Alumoluster undercoat, so where the paint was weathered off, you could see metal underneath, and this was pretty fun. I actually did this live on YouTube. I just wore my GoPro camera on my head. In fact, I wore it through almost all this video. It worked out pretty good. There's a nice little before and after, the black glossy to the Alumoluster. But yeah, so hey, anyone that was able to join me live when I painted this, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for joining. But yeah, so Alumoluster on it looks great. I kind of wanted to just leave it like this. It looks so cool. But Chris told me he wanted it to look like, the show. He wanted it to look like bone, and he wanted it to look like metal. And he said, I don't know how you're going to do that, but, that's the look I'm going for. And I had no idea how to do it either, so a lot of this is just trial and error. I started with some alcohol inks, and just to see, what that might look like underneath, and then I started mixing up the bone color, and I just kept mixing a bunch of different colors together. I started with white, added gold, added a couple drops of brown. At one point I think I even added orange. Yeah, there it is. But yeah, so you just keep mixing colors together until you get the tone or the shade that you're going for, and then add a little bit of reducer to it so it can flow through your airbrush, and there we go. So yeah, so I put this in the airbrush, and I started really light. You'll see I kind of get more aggressive with the paint as we go. But again, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I had no idea where I was going with this. I just kind of started painting, and where it took me, it took me. And I went and looked at some reference photos that Chris had sent to me, and I rewatched the scene from Tales of the Jedi, and it does look pretty white, so I ended up going pretty heavy with that bone color on it. And then I wasn't really thinking about it as I was spraying, but I oversprayed everywhere, including the places that I wanted to stay metallic looking. So first thing I did is I took my reducer and went in and cleaned up around the eyes. And then I started weathering the dome part, so I just kind of made some sweeping motions with a brush and some reducer, and that looked really cool. And then I thought I want some chipping and make it look like that paint starting to come off. So I took the reducer and the brush, and I really pushed it into the paint that gave it lots of little scratches. Yeah, and then I had those other parts that I wanted to look metallic, so I went and completely took the paint off of the nose pieces and that grill in the front, so those were still shiny metallic. Yeah, and then I just kind of kept going with the weathering all over the mask, and got it zoomed up really close here so you can kind of see what that looks like. But this is one of those props that I don't feel like less is more. I feel like more is more. You know what I mean? Like, I just kept going, I kept weathering. At one point I grabbed a sponge and started scratching it with the Scotch-Brite pad, and I just kept going and weathering more and more to get paint chipping all over the place. But like, when you watch Tales of the Jedi, this Inquisitor seems very different from all of the other ones. I mean, well, one, you got this bird mask looking thing, but all of the other Inquisitors, like from Rebels or like Second Sister from Fallen Order, they're like really pristine and shiny looking, and this guy looks like he's super tattered and worn and weathered. So I think it's a good look for this. And then okay, so I added some alcohol ink and did the little isopropyl droplets on it with the toothbrush to give it some water spotting, just to add yet another layer of dimension to this mask. It's kind of my favorite part about it now when I look back at it. Like, I can see all of these tiny little things that I did to it, And the more I look at the mask, the more things I notice that I did. But yeah, so then I added some more alcohol ink here. I just wanted to give it some low lights, some shadows with that clay color, and just to give it some more contrast. And then I wanted to take it back just a little bit, so I brought the bone color back, put it in my airbrush, and just kind of gave it some light dusting over everything. And then the last step was I clear coated it, and now I'm mixing up a little bit of oil paint and some naphtha to give it some nice slimy grime. Yeah, so I put like all the crevices, all of the little lines on this mask. I wanted to have some nice contrast. Want it to be really dark in the lines. So I mixed up that naphtha and oil paint, put it on pretty much everywhere, and then wiped it off. And you take most of it off, but what's left in the corner, what's left in those lines, gives you a little bit of contrast, and that's a really nice look. Last thing I did was I added a little bit of more oil paint, and this time I didn't take it all the way off, just to kind of make it a little dirty. So we got paint scratches, we got water droplets, we got chipping, we got that grease and oil, and then it's just a little bit dirty. So yeah, pretty cool look. Chris is talking about doing some LED eyes for this mask, which I think would be super cool, but just for me to be able to take some photos of it and make it look really neat, I wanted to give it something. So I had this piece of red visor that I used in, I forget what, Dark Trooper helmet or something like that, but I had some scraps left, so I cut some small circles and just used a little bit of hot glue to stick them in. So Chris, you can peel back this hot glue and still, put in LEDs or something like that if you want to. But honestly, it turned out kind of cooler than I expected. It's reflective and almost looks like they're lit, based on the angle. So I don't know, maybe it works. I mean, an LED eye would definitely look sick too, but I don't know. I really do think it kind of works, so maybe just leave those in. But yeah, there it is. So it's all done, it's all painted. Boy, I was about to say I'm so happy with it, but really, I'm just so relieved. Like, I was really stressing on how to paint this mask, and you know what? It just is, it's like a happy accident. I had no plan. I sat down, just started trying stuff, and this is what it came to be. So, yeah, I couldn't be more pleased with how it turned out. I hope you really like it, dude. I can't wait to see your cosplay all put together. And yeah, just appreciate you, dude. So, hey, go check out Chris, the Nerd Dad, on YouTube for lightsaber reviews and unboxings, props, helmets, that sort of stuff. But yeah, go check out the Nerd Dad on YouTube. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me, guys. Thanks for hanging out and watching another prop build. And oh yeah, special thanks to Kyberphonic, who made the audio. He did a TikTok audio that I used on TikTok at the beginning of this video, which is just so cool, so fun. Matches the prop so well with the Six Brother voice and everything. So yeah, thank you, Jesse. That's totally awesome. But hey guys, may the force be with you all. Thanks for hanging out. We'll catch you in the next one. I almost made it out of the video without messing it up. Bye guys.